guys, so thanks for joining me again. So this is Yellow After the Rain Part 2. Last time when we finished this off, we were just starting at letter C and we're talking about some hand positions. And the hardest thing actually in letter C is these rolls. So I want to start just right at letter C and address kind of some key things that you want to consider when we do the rolls. So you remember our hands are in this kind of both turned position, aimed to the left. Now, when you do the rolls, I like to start this a little bit slower at the beginning, and then as a crescendo, speed up the roll. Okay, so that kind of really like increases energy as you go into the next rhythmic motif. Dun, 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 dun. Another thing that you want to think about is as the rolls are moving, when the roll goes in this direction, try to lead it with the right hand. When the roll goes in this direction, lead it with the left hand. So you'll notice on this one, I start with the left to give some low harmonic foundation. Then right hand moves first. In slow motion, it's like this. Oh, sorry, keep the shape. And then strike together. Okay, if you're having a little bit of trouble with this concept, easy exercise, just turn it into 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a right hand move. 1 E and a 2 E and a right hand move. Now do them both. Now make it a sextuplet. Okay, then try to take the accent out. Speed that up. So that's a super easy exercise to get this idea. And then when the roll's going in the other direction, you do it left hand lead. So like if I was doing it backwards. Sextuplet. Okay, easy exercise to start working on that. So now here it is in context. C. So as you can hear in there, my roll speed does not stay consistent, right? I'm letting the roll speed help to build and decrease tension in different spots. So coming off of this high one. 1, 2, 2, 2, tension, releasing. 1, 2, 2, 2, tension, releasing, and 1. And then you can come into D, and I like to come in a little bit stronger at D. So D is just a bit more aggressive for me. Okay, so that's kind of some of the big issues with the rolls in there. Now at D, really I like getting right hand up here to the center, right? Trying to get the best sound. Now, what I like to do at D is kind of voice this high mallet just a little bit more. Just to make it a little bit easier. When the left hand's on the F sharp and B, I've got this arm angle, right? F sharp on the edge, B at the top of the resonator spot. When you come down to the E, B, you're going to expand to a fifth, but move this one down to the low spot on the resonator, and now your mallet 1 is on the E at the high spot. So you're kind of doing just an arm pull back instead of having to do this. Right, where you're really like turning your whole arm. Oh, that's so much more energy than this. Okay, couple here. Now you see how the moves actually kind of match instead of this. Right, and you'll have a lot more accuracy and get better tone if you do that. So just a nice little trick there at D. each time that that happens, I'm trying to build intensity through the phrase. Well, this is happening here at D2. So the first one, maybe a little bit heavier, a little sharper, and kind of tighten in the grip to get some more articulation. But each time that this happens, now a little bit louder. Build and punch. Now is falling off. Something new, right? Run going down. Okay, so just some ideas for trying to keep that phrase a little bit more interesting as you go. Try never to leave things at one certain level, right? Phrases need direction, and they need horizontal direction, not vertical direction. When we're playing and we leave volume the same, a lot of times it's because we're so caught up with vertical alignment of our notes and rhythms that we're not thinking about horizontal direction, right? Where am I moving this line? So that's where I tend to try to focus, is like, how is this line moving forward, not how am I playing it down into the keyboard. So always going somewhere. Okay, now the next section, I'm going to kind of tackle from a couple of different ways because it looks like a lot of notes. And I remember, when I hand this to some beginning students, they're like, oh my gosh, there's so many notes, right? It's just black. It's not a lot of notes. And there are some easy ways that you can learn this and even implement some good skills for memorizing. So the way that I would start this is, you got to identify your note set first. But the idea here is that we're going to be just playing the single alternating stroke. Single alternating stroke is where we're going back and forth in each hand, and then we mix them. Okay, well, if I look down through the rest of the page, it's the same thing for the entire page. So I actually don't need to learn this note by note as written. The way that I learn a section like this is by blocking it together. So I'm going to take that fifth and I'm going to block it and find out where my notes are. So I'm actually starting, this will be the fourth line down, page 4, fourth line down in the second measure, where the piano decrescendo, and now you're starting at mezzo forte. That's where the phrase actually starts. Okay, and I'm going to block it by quarter note. 1, 2, 3, down a step. 1, 2, 3, down a step. 1, down a step. 3, down a step. Now descending and crescendoing. Okay, so I would learn this section like that. Okay, good. Then as you go on, the methodology is the same through the rest of this section. So I don't need to play the whole thing for you, but learn it that way first. Okay? That will help you when you start applying the single alternating stroke. All right, cool. So now here's how I kind of spice this section up a little bit, because if you think about it, it's almost a page and a half of single alternating. To me, okay, that's not very musical. That's not the purpose of this, is not a technical exercise, right? It is a piece of music. So I'm thinking, how can I make this as musical as possible? Well, then I started asking myself, well, what about the repetitions of each note? So when we learned it in the block, it is 1, 2, 3, and then a change. All right, well, if I was any other instrumentalist and I could actually hold a note, it would be a sustained note. So if I was on trumpet, it would be like a dotted half note and then a quarter note down a step. So the line would actually sound more like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So I'm thinking about these single alternating stroke repetitions as just a way to create sustain, right? It doesn't need to be so mechanical, all right, like so many people play this. So what I try to do is actually emphasize the first mallet at the beginning of each one of these repetitions with a little bit of arm weight. So to me, what that does is it actually makes it feel like now there's a note and then the rest are just holding that sustain from that mallet 1 through those 3 beats until the note changes. All right. So you don't have to like that. For me, it works and it makes it more interesting. Here's an idea that you guys can take with you. This is a big idea, and I'll probably have to do like my own video on this, but it's about layers in music. When you look at a piece of paper, okay, a piece of paper is flat, and notes on a page are flat. Now, you can see I've spread my fingers apart here a little bit, but if you're looking straight at it, it's flat. That's like notes on a piece of paper. But notes that we hear are like this, and they have layers, and they have a hierarchy, and they have ones that are more important than the others. And so if all you're looking at is notes on a page, your music sounds like this. If you're trying to think about hierarchy of notes and what's more important, then your music takes on a whole new level because you're actually thinking about these layers that I want you to create. So that's the way that I create layers in this section, is by kind of giving one note a little bit more importance in here than the others. And then you can even phrase that line, right? So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, build in 3, 4, 1, 2, crescendoing as you go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You can even play with the tempo a little bit. Not too much. And then dying down to here, 2, 3. Crescendoing. Okay, so I kind of went a little bit through the rest of that section just so you could hear how that makes the music so much more interesting, right? So here's my challenge to you. Do it both ways. Play it the mechanical way with none of that other inflection, no tempo variation, and, record yourself and listen back. And then do it the way I'm suggesting. Add those little tenutos at the beginning of each measure. Let that hold for 3 counts, then tenuto again on 4. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And think about it that way and see if that's any more interesting to you. My guess is you'll like it better, and so will your audience. And so will anyone who's judging you, because it doesn't sound like a computer, right? It sounds like someone expressing music. You just need to sell it. Okay. So then you've got these, the rhythmic breakdown, right? So 16 notes, triplet, 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 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, sliding up again. Now we're back to the recapitulation. Make sure your balance is good. The section that seems to give people a lot of trouble because it's hard. So in here, I like to use this. Let's see. Okay, so I had to remember here for a sec. All right, so I actually start this whole section with this kind of angled setup, because it seems to suit much better the motion on the instrument. You're going to have reaching down here to the F and B flat, which is angled in this direction. And you're going to be reaching up here to the F and B flat, which is angled this direction. So I kind of let this be my home base, sliding back and forth, and then the left hand has to straighten out for the B flat, E flat, and and then come back to this angle, and then you see you could just slide it over and around here. So much easier than the alternative, which is this. Arm twist, right? Really awkward. Arm twist. Here, angled, one little twist to the left hand. And then you're back into position. So when you do this one and you're like here, then you can flatten out for those couple of notes and then go back to the diagonal. So on the long one, stay left hand flat, left hand back to an angle. All right, then you can stay angled here. And you hear I'm giving those little tenutos. Dee da 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 da. Roll. Slowing down the roll. And we're done. All right, so hopefully you've got some really, really good pointers there that you can apply to this piece, Yellow After the Rain. And again, I encourage you to experiment, right? What I like may not be what you like, but hopefully I've given you some ideas that kind of take you into a new direction with the way that you look at any piece of music, right? Not just this one. All right, thank you guys so much. I would love to hear your comments. If you thought this was helpful to you, or if you even have some different ideas, great. I'm always learning too. Drop them in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe and like this video and click the bell to get notifications. I'm trying to put out stuff every week now, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Please let me know. All right, see ya.